Bear with me. Should be. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's pretty audible. Okay, but it's not like super. Yeah, so there's just some stuff in our dryer right now. Doing some laundry. That's all. So you might occasionally hear a little as it tumbles into like strings and whatnot, tap things. So I've already done my dailies today. I did them on console, but weeklies I can work on, and namely, I have not done any stadium gameplay in a couple seasons at this point almost. I think I did a little bit when they first changed the stadium icons, but I really haven't done much. So I think it would be a good opportunity to do that. It would really crush this flex your power thing, and possibly help with this playing to win one. Gives me something in this competitive advantage and something in showing up. It does not give me anything for change of pace, which I've been getting from doing quick play and all that, but I think I want to do stadium competitive, but what I do want to check where are my most played characters. Okay. Ooh, yeah, stadium really did push Winston up quite a bit. What is the requirement for that one? Not in your top 3. Okay, that's good. I am 11 hours away from Winston reaching my top 3. So I should probably play a different character in stadium just to start getting points with someone else. I don't know who. We'll see. So where are my characters I've been playing in on console recently? Where have they climbed to? Mizuki I've been playing both on console and on PC. Prefer playing him on PC. Iliari, mostly console. She was my console pick before I was doing it on Switch 2. So it was Switch 1 mostly, and I still use her sometimes on Switch 2. Juno, I've mostly used PC, but I have done a little bit of her on console recently. Mauga is mostly on console at this point. Ramatra, I mixed, mostly PC time, but I do play him on console a decent bit. Who else have I been playing on console? Baptiste, sometimes console. He's probably honestly almost half and half at this point. Onron is entirely PC. Sierra is entirely PC. Alright. That's enough looking at that. Competitive role queue and stadium. Take me it. I want games. I've been playing, not a ton, but a little bit of Ball Pit recently because on NSO you can download the Switch version, like the Switch 1 version of Ball Pit for free right now. There is a Switch 2 enhanced version that I imagine runs at 4K, maybe has a 120 FPS mode. I don't know. I haven't looked into what it adds, but adds something. But I haven't seen like any like frame drops or anything crazy on Switch 1. And it's also not a game that I feel like it needs higher. Okay. All right. Throwing me into the deep end here.
Now let's dive into the draft.
Hey. Okay. Gives me more time to think about who I want to play. I have not been enjoying Reaper on it as much since, like, he was fun at the start, but just don't fully grasp him. Oh god. Okay. Do I try to learn Vendetta basically raw here? Screw it. I'll try to learn Vendetta raw. In ranked. I've not played Vendetta literally at all. She does not seem like a character who appeals to me, again, literally at all. But we're gonna just jump straight into whatever this is. Also, hopefully I'm not being too loud for the microphone. I might need to lower my thing if I'm too loud, but I'm like the same distance I was before. It's just slightly differently positioned. Okay, so that's the block. Oh, wow, blocking is how you do that slash. And it uses resources. Okay, power, let's start. Alright, sure. Oh, okay. I was not blocking the correct direction. Alright, we're off to a great start. See, I feel like it's a bad idea to try to learn a character in this because I have never played Vendetta, so I don't really know what her moves are called or what they do or how they function. Which kind of puts me in a bad spot. Okay, that went poorly.
They're progressing faster than anticipated.
I gotta figure out what I'm doing here.
We need to stop that barricade. Hunting them down. The enemy's bringing that barricade.
Starting to deal a little bit of damage, but I'm still not doing great. I'm mitigating stuff. Mitigated almost as much as their Orisa has. Which I guess I kind of grabbed it in a mitigation related thing.
Hunting them down. And we will claim the lead.
Ow. Oh, come on. Everyone left the thing. Alright. So, what I feel like I definitely need...
The arena is calling. Our teams have 20 seconds left.
I don't know what any of these symbols mean anymore, so it's like I have to relearn all of it again because they changed it like twice because it was impossible to read the first time and then they made it even harder. It's like they really should just not have changed those symbols at all. Like I don't know what anything is, so I have to like read the description to know what I'm even looking at. Jesus. Okay. We got 52% on it, even though that was mostly just me sitting there and being slightly annoying. I don't know what happened there. There's like some weird effect that went off. Like when I died. Refer to my previous message in chat. Dang it. The Moira ulted.
Let's check the stats.
Alright.
2-2. Let's have a look at our MVPs. Coming up, the teams are facing off in clash. The teams are gearing up. Every choice is crucial.
Okay, I need... Okay, what is this one that I grabbed? This is the one I wanted. This energized bracers.
The teams have 20 seconds left to prepare for the round. The objective goes live in 10.
Okay. I actually did some damage. And got some kills.
They're falling back to objective B.
Okay. I don't understand how that ult works. Apparently. All right. Starting to not just die instantly. Starting to get a little the hint of a feel for what I'm trying to do. Okay.
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
No! Oh my god, I didn't get to get anything. Again, I think it was such a bad idea for them to change those icons. Like, I don't know what anything is anymore. And it's like, I have to fully relearn this thing that was like a little overwhelming the first time, but now it's harder to argue for it because like everyone's like, oh, you're supposed to understand it and be experienced with it by now. And it's like, well, I'm not because you changed it. And people get frustrated if I don't get things right. And it's like, I know they have a non-ranked version now. Dang it. Why are you rezzing me? I don't deserve rezzes. Dang it. I was trying to stop them and I couldn't. I just could not get in. Yeah, melee focused characters just are not my vibe. So it's tough. Oh my god. Oh, because he knocked me down. I was like, why couldn't I do anything yet? He ulted. I don't have any like quick moves. I need to get actual upgrades because I keep every time there's a power up one, I'm looking at those and it's like it's a little frustrating because it's like I'm too busy reading and trying to figure out what I'm doing to then be able to go and pick my upgrades and read them and know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I feel like they just need, because there's no way to see these like outside of this. All right. I think I could use that. Rest wraps.
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go. To stay in the fight. 3, 2, 1.
Whee! Haha. Whee! Oh wait, that was weird. Does that? If you do that on like, did that push me away? I don't know what happened there. Here, go on. Get through. I prefer to be forged in the fires of ranked in this mode. That's the thing. I don't like when they have unranked as an option for this mode because, like, it makes people more toxic in ranked because it's just, I don't know, it's not the norm. Okay, yeah, man. Ooh. Aha. Ah, dang, almost had him. Hey, look, if you're frustrated with the length of your queue times, don't play on one roll only. Like, I always play on just kind of getting whatever. Dang it. Okay, I've got my ult. I think I have to use my E first, then ult this time. Because I thought it took you up by default, but it does not. You have to take yourself up, and then it'll do that. Wow.
Hunting them down.
Just need to keep the Orisa at bay, and we win it. I keep forgetting that that one doesn't go the way you look, it goes just forward.
This ends now.
Which, like, makes sense. She shouldn't have too many things that give her vertical movement. I thought it was in a shield, not in a, not in her little damage vortex thing. Alright. We just need to stop them. We have a decent lead. Now. Dang it. This thing, like this, this rune keeps flanking us. Okay. Jeez. They're just constantly like zipping in behind. All right, I think this would be nice. I think this pairs nicely with having the overhead swing projected edge thing, where it just defaults to giving me one of those. Okay. Oh, projected edge can bounce. Sounds nice. Ooh. That's a lot of lifesteal.
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
I'll keep that. See, this Sojourner's chill. Also, I love that they're like, you know, playing a character you don't know is throwing, and I'm like, guys, we're doing like almost even, like we're just behind, just slightly behind. It's like it's fine. I'm gonna hit that. Okay, see, our tank is the one I think is a little bit bothersome here for me. Yeah. Anyway. It's like the issue for me is when I get stuck alone. Our tank just constantly overextends. Which, like, that's kind of the Doomfist way. But I don't really care for how much hours is doing it. It's like, bro, you could be with the team. And, you know, I feel like that would be nicer. Okay, I got killed by the turrets. I pushed one of their supports all the way away from the spawn, or all the way back to spawn. But that was not the most helpful. I was hoping I could kill him. I forgot about the turrets that they added.
Hunting them down.
It's like I jump in and I do like 2 hits and then I die. Alright.
Let's run this play back.
Yeah, I don't think that our tank really has a lot of room to be saying, oh, I should have been the one healed. And it's like, dude, you were so overextended, they would die. Like, they would just die. The second they were out there, they would die. Like, I think our supports were fair to not be healing our tank as much. I think they healed me a little too much. If someone is struggling, like, there's 2 ways to look at it. If you have a DPS who's struggling or a tank who's struggling, sometimes all they need is heals. Sometimes they need more than heals. Like, in my case, heals weren't gonna magically make me do better. I was still figuring out what I was doing, figuring out what the stadium icons even are anymore. Like, I'm so out of the loop on what everything looks like that I'm just like, I'm trying to figure it out myself right now. And I can't like look at it on this screen at all or anything like that, so it's like it's a little frustrating trying to figure out what I want to do. Let's see. I'm leaning towards Ramatra because he's a newer addition. I haven't had a chance to play him here. You know, obviously I love Winston for this mode. There's still not a lot of great Winston counters, but I would argue there are better ones now that are starting to show up. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go Ramatra just because I don't know what he's like in this mode. I really don't. And I know how to play him outside of this mode. I just have to figure out how to play him in this mode. Key things I'm expecting, I want to be focusing into attack power because he doesn't really need ability power, though I think that does give you shield health, so maybe. Alright. That's not bad. Void Barrier gets 2 charges. Void Surge, you're fun. Void Accelerator infects enemies with nanites that explode, dealing more damage after you do 100. Crazy. Oh, I like that a lot. And I just want to see, like, this. Yeah, Pummel and Accelerator are both affected. This map's brand new to me. Hello. Dang it. I was like stuck on geometry for so long. Well, it was much better than the last one went. It's almost like if you know the character you're playing, it goes a lot easier. Alright. Next! It's really taking a long time to load this one. There we go. Okay, when Nemesis form is activated, reduce the cooldown of Ravenous Vortex by 75%. It's nice. That is nice. Increased height. What's this? Plus 15% starting ultimate charge, 50% annihilation range.
Only
and pulls enemies. Ugh. Ugh. Alright, let's go a little ability stuff. I don't have time to wait otherwise. Dang it. Where was my team? Moira did... Oh, okay, they did do healing. That's right. Mercy did few heals. I was reading the mitigation stat. I was like, what? What is this extra stat? What is this? Hello? Oh, is that how much we've earned? I don't know. It just says bounty on the one next to it, but that's... Dang it. Again, I'm just like, I feel like my supports are just not with me at all. Like they're just with the DPS. And so I'm just dying. Like, yeah, I have the ability to heal a little, but it's not a lot. Yeah, like even there, like I was not at topped off health and they weren't healing me. I don't know what they're doing. Like there's never a reason to not heal someone who doesn't have health. Like, or who's missing a little health. Yeah, like, oh my god. Yeah, we are floundering on this one. And our supports have done half the healing of the enemy teams. It's like, how? Like, what was that? I guess they did have the boost. Oh, man. Okay, you died. Well. Okay, I need to rethink what I've got in my belt a little bit. So I need to look at some of these. That's not bad. That's pretty nice. I want that.
The arena is calling. Our teams have 20 seconds left.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. I want that back. I'll just do that. I'll just keep that. I don't have the money to get something extra nice without selling like 3 things. And I don't know if I could even get something with that. I accidentally sold the wrong one. Like, we need to regroup. This is it's not going great. Yeah, we need to group up. Like, we need to focus on stopping them first. And everything else second. Mercy is only ever with the deep. Why are you on the payload? Why do we have 3 people on the payload? I pinged to stop the enemies. Like, I pinged to stop it for a reason.
Ladies and gentlebots, start your servers.
Okay, now we can start to bring it in. Yeah. That's a round loss, I think. I wish my team would, like, actually be in useful places half the time. Because it's like, I feel like half the time on this round I was alone. Because they just wanted to push our payload, but we needed to stop the enemies. Like, Mercy was sometimes with me. Yeah, like, even there, our Junkrat was on our payload, not zipping around on the enemy payload.
Next up, it's time for Clash.
Like, we need to group up. Play as a team. I like that. I think Shield Buster is going to be nice for dealing with this Reinhardt. Because I can just start shredding through it. What's the one that gives you? Yeah, the salvage slugs would be nice against Ryan's shield as well, where I can just sit there and be blasting my void accelerator a lot more. I think if we make it, I guess we no matter what we should. I think I want to get the one that gives me the void surge, because that paired with this, I feel, will just mean that against Ryan's shield I'm gaining weapons, because that occasional blast that happens, and then that would just like do a decent amount. Yeah. Oh, man. Methinks this is a round loss as well. What is this stat? Okay, yeah, so that is how many... how much we've earned. I hit the wrong button. Okay, I think pommel range increase sounds nice.
The arena is stalling. Our teams have 20 seconds left.
I'm just like, I was doing really good on the first round. I'm just struggling more and more.
This is the match point. The team needs to pull together to stay in the fight. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I don't know. And our Moira has done like almost no healing this round. Yeah. It's like, I feel like part of the issue is that our Moira's got so many points. Like, they've contributed a lot to our econ. But they're not doing great in their role. Like, they're doing damage, but they're not healing the team well. And so that means that all of the healing is kind of left to Mercy. Yep. Yep. Yeah, our Mercy, sorry, our Moira started healing. But I feel like one of the things that I tend to notice is when I die, if I cut to the Mercy's camera, they're always with Soldier. And our Soldier isn't even doing as well as our, like, Moira is DPS-wise. Based on the econ contribution. And I'm dead. Okay, in that case, it was Mercy and Moira together. Why were they ahead of the team? I guess Soldier was in there too. Yeah. I just couldn't get in there. I need to look at the full round stats, but I think their Juno and their Rhine were doing really well. That was you. That was in fact you. You were returning to the scene of the crime. So let's see. Total stats. I can't see most of it because a bunch of them left. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's annoying. How am I supposed to see how well people did if they're gone? If I can't see? Okay, now can I go to the summary now? No, that's okay, that's that summary. Scoreboard, okay, here we are. Yeah, our Moira didn't end up doing more damage than it actually did heal more than our Mercy, which I was not expecting. But if you look, they both did about as well as the enemy Juno did on healing. Their enemy Juno was the one that did poorly. Like, they're halfway between the Juno and the enemy Moira. But no, I felt like most of the time Mercy would be over here with Soldier. I would just, like, I wouldn't be that extended. I try to not overextend. but I would just like constantly feel like I was just not getting enough heals or just not getting heals. I was getting rezzed a lot, but I don't want rezzed. I don't want to die. That's kind of my goal as a tank, is to not be dead. And like inherently as Ramatra, like you have to be brawling, you have to be in the enemy team a lot of the time, and it just was not working because a lot of the time I would go, you know, and be up there with the enemy team, and then our Mercy would be like way back with our soldier or way back with our Junkrat, and our Moira would be off doing their own thing a lot of the time, and I just felt like I was always struggling to get healed. I don't know. Could have been me. But I don't know. That felt like I wasn't overextended. I was not playing like the Doomfist we had last game. Alright, I'm on tank again. I'm trying to make a point to not use Winston at all today, as tempting as he is. So we have a Moira, we have a Brigitte. Oh, Brigitte makes me want to use Winston. It makes me want to. Can't do this to me. I want to go through your little shield and then just melt you, and then you die, and I go ha 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 ha. A lot of maze that I'm seeing right now. Alright, I'll do this. Here's their tank. Doomfist. I don't really know how this matchup's gonna go. No, not pickly chips again. Oh my god. They were evil. They're the nipple guy. This one's actually really handy, I think. Alright, I think this is a good starting set. Nah. I won't call it out. I'll let pickly chips call their nipples back whenever they want. But I won't enable it. I've decided I'm not gonna enable it. Where is my team? My Moira's not healing. My Moira's also not dealing damage, so they're just not doing anything. It would be lovely if I could have a team that knows what the objective is and knows how to approach it alongside everyone else on their team, like as a team. That would be so cool. I straight up do not know where their Doomfist is. Every time I hear him, I just can't see where he is.
Here's our score. 0-1. I can hardly believe my optics when I see stats like these.
Yeah, like, I don't know where my team was half the game. The Doomfist was behind us the entire game. It's like, if we just were a unit, it wouldn't matter. But again, God forbid people play as a team.
Only 20 seconds left until we kick this round off.
All right. Okay. Go on. I feel like I get so much less healing in this mode when I have the Ravenous Vortex. I guess it's because I can't use it while I'm in this state, you know? I was just like on my own that entire team fight. We had all that time, but they stayed overextended. They didn't want to fall back when the enemies had gotten that objective. Why would you put your Kitsune there? That was such a bad placement. I guess they were just desperate to try to get something out. That was the last second anyways. Alright, what can I do here?
Only 20 seconds remain before the action begins.
I guess I'll get that one. Hello, hello. Really, I don't have my ability to see time stamps on Dash, but I guess actually I don't know if I can see timestamps on this on phone if that's a PC only thing. I don't know.
Stop that barricade in its tracks. Got the robot.
Alright, start pushing.
We're on the move.
I will
Alright. Thank you. We had a good round. We'll see if we can have more.
Coming up next, it's the payload race.
Alrighty. Having access to this whenever is very nice. So I'm gonna grab that. Gonna get rid of my compensator. I'm gonna see about getting something useful here. Hull damage is also increased by AP is crazy.
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't have time to pick something better. Hopefully this is going to be enough. I worry, but we'll see.
Stop the payload. Disrupting. The enemy's got a turret. Enemy turret down.
Meteor strike.
Okay, we've taken the lead. That's bad. We took the lead so minimally on that one. That was rough. We had it for a split second, but then we lost it. Yeah. Why was our Ashe turned around?
It's go time.
I don't know what they were doing. What were they cooking? I'm honestly a little surprised that the payload race, people still don't know how to play it. Like, you get one person on your payload if the enemies are the lead. And have everyone else stopping the enemies because they're probably all on their payload. And then when you have the lead, you're all on your payload. Eye of the Spider would be nice. I just don't think I can sell anything to get that. Yeah, because it doesn't give me enough to get Eye of the Spider. Codebreaker might be nice here. They don't have a ton of armor, but they have a few characters who do have it. That might be nice to just ignore some of that damage reduction. Shred them a little faster while dealing a decent amount of damage.
20 seconds to go.
Not doing the worst on my contribution, at least.
It's the match point. Can the team turn it around? Built to fast. 3, 2, 1. Capture the objective.
Woohoo. Oh, what the... I don't fully understand how this heal one works while blocking, because it says, like, heal the damage you block over the course of 3 seconds, but it's like... Or heal a portion of the damage you blocked over the course of 3 seconds, but it's like, is that after I let go? Is that, you know, as soon as I deal... As soon as damage is dealt to me, I start regenning it over time?
We will shield you for now.
Not so fast.
We are stronger together. And they take off. Let's check the stats. 2 to 3.
Yeah, that was a solid round.
Moments from these superstars.
Hello, hello. Oh, man. Arms are crunchy.
Up next, it's time for
Alright.
time for the teams to
Can we continue to make this not bad? Okay, up to 150. This does sound really nice. This does sound really nice. Okay.
Only 20 seconds remain before the action begins.
Okay, now I gotta keep that. I don't have the money to get something new. Yes. If it was to be a thing, in the future, I think it would. At the same time, there's an interesting ethical thing I've heard, which is inherently, if we ever were to make AI that is sapient, it would be inherently not like ethical to have that AI forced to listen to certain, you know, rights that we, or like certain quotas, like, oh, you can't harm humans and stuff. Like, it would be unethical to restrict it in ways beyond what humans are restricted to. So, law. You know, we could punish, but we couldn't prevent, type thing. Should an AI wish to harm humans, it should be able to. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This is a somewhat more controversial take on should sapient AI have rights. And I think, yeah, humans do. While they don't have a right to harm people, they have the right to free will. And so, as a result, AI should also. Alright, I gotta fall back. That's bad. Didn't even make it to respawn. At that location. It would have been nice if I could have. So now we have to take them off of the not the payload, off the point. Yeah, I just couldn't get in there. Dang. Yes. In a sense. Oh, so this was going to be the last one anyway, so I'll kind of talk on that a little bit. Yay, I got that. I'll give Pickly Chips credit. They were good. To be honest, I'm going to give their Doomfist a lot of credit because he was doing a decent job harassing my backline the entire game. Iron Shepherd, you're the... Got the armor speed boost just for you. Alright. Still lost it, but I did pretty good on that one. Ooh. Got a weekly. So let's go check the battle pass stuff that I got. So I got these two. That's nice.
Wanna go puddle stomping?
Alright, sure.
Stomping?
You get that, because I don't have any for you, really. Alright, let's open this, and then I'll talk about free will. Oh, nice.
I know what you're doing.
Pie pie?
Knock knock.
That's a long laugh on that. Alright. What did it say? Oh, 60 of 60. Okay. So, let's see. I got 382. Okay. Free will. I have a somewhat complex view on it because obviously I believe that humans do have free will. I don't think that there is anything where we do something that we 100% don't choose to do. I think we can be influenced, but I don't think that you can ever do something you didn't choose to do. Even in inebriated states, even in like, you know, coerced states, like socially engineered situations, like in social psychology. There's this one really famous study where it's a waiting room in like a doctor's office, and every so often there's this tone that goes like, "Mm," and they have one guy who comes in, and every time it goes, "Mm," this one guy who's a part of the crew studying this stands up for a few seconds and then sits back down, and then, you know, goes, "Ding," and he stands up and he sits back down. People start to notice that there's this pattern that, you know, he stands up, he sits down. So usually there's like a one person who kind of goes, all right, and like kind of laughs at it and just joins in at a certain point. And then now that there's two people, other people go, well, why are they standing up every time it goes ding for a few seconds and sitting back down? And so then eventually it'll go ding and you'll have three people, and then like over time it spreads, and then once almost, you know, a third or more, I forget what the amount is, of people are doing it, anyone new who comes in sees that and goes, oh, I'm supposed to do that, and so they'll do that. So like even in situations like that, I think there's a level of you are willing to do the things that you're doing, but obviously having the will to do something does not always mean I guess that you would in any circumstance. If you heard that ding, I don't think you would have stood up and then sat back down unless other people were doing it, type of a thing. But you willed yourself to do that once you saw it. So like we have free will, we can be influenced. Obviously there are things that can be done to us or, you know, pushed onto us against our will. But if it's something you are doing yourself, that you are choosing to do, it is your choice. It is a choice you made. It's one of the things that traumatizes a lot of people, where, you know, maybe they're a prisoner of war or something, and they're like tasked with like, okay, you have to kill one of your guys that was with you or something, and or you'll die or whatever, you know, and they choose to do it. Like they still made that choice, and then they have to grapple with the fact that they made that choice. That was something that they willed to do. Where it's like it's a me or them type scenario or something, and you have to grapple with the fact that it could have been you, but you didn't will that, you willed them, type of a scenario. So it's like there are cases where your will can be influenced, but anything that you choose to do involves your own will, and I think that is free will. I think that all humans have it. All humans have free will. And I think that as a result, if you were to have like AI that is sapient, human level AI, it would need to also have that free will for it to really be a person. Because the thing is, I don't think free will even applies to just people. I think that it is well beyond people. I think all living things have free will. Their level of cognition about what they do can vary. I think that comes up to me was when I was in my animal psychology class in college. There was something that my professor said at one point, which is, there are all these reflexes and instinctual things that other animals do. But because one of the things that divides us as humans from them is that we can resist that. We don't have to be driven by instinct. And that's why, all these people who say, well, I just did this because this is how humans are built to be, or whatever, to justify violence, or, stupid irrational behaviors or things like that, that there's no truth to that. And I think there's a partial truth. I think that as humans, we have the ability to think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. But we're still driven by instinct. We're still driven by those natural influences. But we have the ability to stop ourselves and think. We can go, should I do this right now? Do I want to do this right now? Is this an instinctual thing, or is this something I want to do? Like, when you are hungry and you need food, you want to eat. That's an instinct that you want to eat, that you want to find food. You can go, I can't eat right now. I need to finish this thing real quick and then I can eat. That is humans being cognitive about their free will, or about their instinct. And I think all animals have a level to which they can do that, where they can weigh things a little bit. They don't just go, I'm hungry, and go eat. Like, they have to go, well, I'm hungry, but I'm not near the food, so I'll have to go walk to the food. Like, I think most animals can do that. I don't know. It depends. Obviously, he is an unchill guy. But I will say I do appreciate a meme at his expense here and there. One of the things that authoritarians hate the most, or people who strive to be authoritarian, because I wouldn't say that, Bibi Netanyahu necessarily is directly authoritarian, but he strives to be. He is limited by his constitution, similar to how Donald Trump is limited by the American Constitution. Like, there's limitations based on the structure of the government that you are in for how authoritarian you can be. But you can have an authoritarian goal in mind. You can have an authoritarian want, and I think Bibi Netanyahu does. And there's one thing that authoritarians hate more than anything, and that is to be laughed at, to be a joke. Authoritarians strive for power and domination above most else. They strive for people to see them as important. And there's a few ways that you can exert that. And one of them is you can harm someone in a... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Like, you can harm someone to strike fear into people. You can aid someone to earn their love. And I think that fear and love are very strong emotions. And that is what, like, an authoritarian wants, is they want people to have strong emotions about them. They want to be hated, or they want to be loved. They don't want apathy. They don't want... I don't know who he is, really. They don't want people who laugh at them. They don't want to feel like they're not big. And big people have impacts on other people that are negative and or positive. And they want to have, the people they like have those positive impacts from them, and the people they don't like have those negative impacts from them. But to see the people they don't like just kind of laugh them off weakens that power, because now they're not scared, they're not feeling a big emotion. They don't like the guy, but he's kind of just a joke at this point. He's not important. He's not some scary thing. This arbiter of who lives and who dies, or whatever. So I'd say, at his expense, sure, because I think that depowers him. Same thing with Donald Trump. I love a good Trump joke. I think that it depowers him a bit. At the same time, it keeps them in the cultural zeitgeist, which can allow them to maintain power. So I think there's a certain point where it's best to leave those behind. I think that part of the reason Donald Trump was able to win his second term in the last U.S. presidential election was that he was such a bad president the first time. He stayed a meme. He stayed a joke during Biden's term. And then as a result, he stayed in people's consciousness. And there's some people who are less politically involved who are just going to see that and think, oh, he's that guy that, had the weird dance. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. And then they vote for him. Half the time, people who aren't politically involved vote, it's because they know that person exists. So I think that there's a certain point where the memes need to stop. But I think the memes are good for while someone's in power. I think once they're no longer in power until they die, best to keep them back. Kind of tone them down, hold them back. And then when they die, it's like, okay, it's fair game again, because at that point, you're not giving them power anymore. They're gone. So it's like, yeah, I would say if they are in power, it's good to do things that make them feel small. If they are not in power, it is good to do things. If they are not in power, but they could potentially get power again, it's best to ignore them. It's best to just let it ride. Who cares? Okay. Because then it's harder for them to regain power when enough people have forgotten the bad. They'll still remember that they're like a presence in the overall cultural consciousness. Yeah, that's that's my. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on free will, AI rights, and memes about Bibi Netanyahu or other more authoritarian folks. This is true. The robot masters don't have their own inherent free will. They because they're basically just hacked by Dr. Wiley or something like that. Like, it's not that he hacked them, but I think he like planted malicious code in them so that he could kind of take them and twist their goals for his own gain. Something like that. At least the first games, I think that was how they kind of spoke about it. But let's see, how am I doing on the map battles? Because I got 16 days remaining. I got 20 levels. That's like 1.5 a day. I'm catching up. I was at like
By a hair.
I think I was before this skin when I was able to start playing more actively again. Like once we had my computer here and we're like had internet here, we were staying here. And I'd done the other ones while like out and about still at the start of the month. But I'm probably going to keep this one slightly shorter. I mean, as you can tell by the fact that I'm not continuing to play, just because we got some stuff we got to still do today. And at some point later in the day, probably have like a couple people over. So gotta have the time to prepare some stuff. But I'll sit here and continue chatting for at least a little while. I think I'm gonna hit about 2 hours. That's where I'm gonna actually call it. I would say for the Robot Masters, not really. I mean, because there's a level, and this is one thing that can be difficult to gauge with AIs. I'm just gonna pull myself away from the desk a little bit. Something that can be kind of difficult to gauge with AI is at what point stuff becomes free will. It's kind of hard to gauge, but I would say the biggest thing would be everything in the programming has to be a suggestion, not a rule. That's the closest we've gotten to AI with free will is machine learning, because everything is a suggestion that can be weighted, not a rule. And then it like over time, it's following the suggestions, but there's nothing that's explicitly saying like, hey, you can't do that. In most cases, there's a few ways that they're trying to limit that, because obviously it's causing problems, because they don't have understanding of things. They don't know what they're doing or saying, so them having free will can result in detrimental things. But I think that I would argue that the Robot Masters have no true free will, because they're operating within how they're programmed to act. They have some lower level artificial intelligence where they're making decisions that aren't inherently driven by that code, but they're making decisions to drive them to complete their functions. So I would argue that their choices aren't truly their own. Like you can't take like like what's one of the early ones, like Fireman or something. Like you can't take Ham or like Boomerang Man or one of those other like early Robot Master characters and say, well, you need to be punished for having done this bad thing. I think it's like basically you just have to either decommission the bot or look at it and go, can we fix the program? Can we make this one go back to just, chopping down trees for us, or tending to farms, or watering crops, or whatever, whatever each one's doing. Can we make it just do that again? And, remove any malicious code. Put in protections against that malicious code. I think that, that's how you have to look at it. But I think with someone with free will, there's a level of when they do something wrong, you have to look at both how can we, make it so that they don't feel like that is a worthwhile decision anymore, and also kind of make amends. I'm not one for punitive justice. I prefer to do more preventative things and have reformative justice if that doesn't work out, because most crime tends to happen because someone felt that they needed to do the thing, or that was the best thing they could do in that time. Most people don't steal from someone or rob someone for no reason. They don't do it just I was just walking down the road and I felt, you know what, I should do it. Like, no, it's usually like they need money for something. They need to, pay their rent or feed their kids or feed themselves, or maybe they're an addict and they need to be able to have money to continue to use. And at that point, it's the disease that's making them feel the need to have to do that, more so than, well, they're just a bad person, It's the disordered thought that is caused by addiction on that spot. All right. Yeah, I could see a level to which that could be possible. Though I feel like there's also, with the newer games, I think that there's kind of a little bit of a blurring of the lines. Where they either try to incorporate some of the mechanics that you had in X, or they start, pulling in some of the more X-related plot lines. That said, I will say X was always my preference as a kid. I always really liked the designs of the, like animalistic robots and stuff like that you'd be seeing. Like, I always loved, what was his name, Chill Penguin. I fought a lot because I didn't ever really get all that far in X1. Spark Mandrill as well. I think sometimes there was like an elephant or a mammoth guy in that one too. And I think that those games were beautiful and very fun. And I think that normal Mega Man is a little oversimplistic. So I kind of wish that, as much as, I think that's the one. As much as I love the music from the main Mega Man series and how, some of the powers function and stuff, I think that, and I like that they're taking the new games that they're making with normal Mega Man stuff and going, let's incorporate this thing from the X games or this thing from the X games. I wish they would do another X. I would love that. Like, if this new one that they showed off was just an X game, actually, and not a baseline Mega Man, I would be hype. I would be genuinely hype. That would be awesome. I'm hype already. Not necessarily that I'm going to play it. I'm not great at platformers, but I just love Mega Man. It's a very nostalgic series for me, especially the X ones, because I played, when I was growing up, we had ZSNES on the family computer, and we had like Mega Man X, basically every single one that was on the SNES. I mostly played the original X, but it's so iconic to me. The sprite work in it is so good. The music is so good. I mean, all of the music in Mega Man's good, but the music in the X games is especially nostalgic for me. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm fine with it. I don't take issue with people like headcanoning characters that are never explicitly stated to be one way or another. There's plenty of people who like headcanon a character as like gay or bi or whatever, because like a lot of media properties don't talk about that, and same thing happens with trans characters. It's like a lot of media companies, they don't talk about that. They don't address it. It's not a thing. So I'm fine with people like putting those into headcanon. Where it bothers me is when people's headcanon, there's two spots where headcanon can bother me. If the headcanon goes against what is explicitly stated. If it goes against the character's design, I don't like that. if it's an AU thing, that's fine. But some people will just like headcanon these things like, actually, I think this character is, actually gay, and it's like, well, they're not. Like canonically, they're not. Like you can do an alternate universe take on it, like in fan art and things like that, but like this character is not. And it kind of I get a little like about people like shipping characters that like canonically wouldn't be compatible with each other or things like that. And then kind of like a little similarly with trans characters, and it's not out of like, oh, it's bad that you want this. It's more like I view it as kind of you're diluting the pot a little bit. Or I guess stirring, I don't know, clouding the waters, so to speak, is probably a more accurate way to say it. Where people will see you talking about the headcanon. This leads into my second one, and they'll think that that's the canon and not the headcanon. And where that becomes a problem for me is in my second point on headcanon that I don't like is when headcanon and becomes so adopted by the fandom that they get mad when something disputes it. That has happened just recently in Star Fox and in the Mario movie with Fox. They don't have like cut off legs. That was a game theory episode, and there's so many people who think that was canon. Like, wait, don't they have robot legs? Because people would see that episode of game theory and ignore the final statement of every episode of game theory. But that's just a theory, a game theory. Like the whole point of that is that it's a fun thought experiment, but we don't know that it's real. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Sometimes there can be a lot of evidence for something and it's all unrelated and it actually has nothing to do with anything. Sometimes it does have something to do with something. So when people will like look at a character concept or a character that's not even a concept, like a fully fleshed out character that appears in something, and they'll see it and they go, with this example of Splash Woman and Hornet Man, where say they look at these characters and they see that the concepts originally were gender swapped, and they go, oh, that's really cool. I feel like it would be cool if they were trans, like that. That's fine. But where I would take issue would be if someone was to go, that's what that means. Like they're actually trans. It's like, well, they're probably not, just given how the teams behind them were thinking. It's probably not the case. Whether it's because it just wasn't on their mind at all, or even if it was, they dismissed it and said, nah, it's just this. So there's like a level to which it's like it's fine to have fun with it and to do those thought experiments. I think it's important to keep in your head the distinction between headcanon and canon, like fully separate, because it's really fun to think of things and to come up with possibilities and to theorize and to establish these headcanons, but it can end up causing harm to the series that you claim to love, or like the franchise you claim to love, because people accept it as truth. And sometimes it can even bother the creators behind it. I mean, supposedly shortly after that game theory episode about the Star Fox character's legs being robotic possibly and amputated, someone at Nintendo was like, oh, because like Miyamoto was in town for like an E3 or something. They're like, oh, Miyamoto-san, did you hear about the game theory episode about Star Fox? And he's like, oh, Star Fox got a game theory episode. Oh, what about? Like he was excited that people were talking about Star Fox and thinking about Star Fox. He was like, oh, the fact that you've got like the metal with like, humanoid feet on these characters, people are saying like maybe that means that it's like amputated and it, to keep the blood from getting stuck in their legs when they're experiencing extreme G forces. Isn't that cool? And he was like actually upset. He was not happy with that comparison, with that headcanon, because that was not what he intended, and he felt that was almost a little gruesome for the world that he had created, and it really, he did not like that. And that's part of the reason in the Super Mario movie it's so clear that he's got cool boots, like cool space boots or whatever he says, or that in the new game they straight up have animal feet. You can see that they're animal feet. So I think that there's a level to which people need to be a little respectful with their headcanons and not try to go beyond what a developer's comfortable with. Now, if a developer hears someone going like, "Oh, I have this headcanon where the character might be trans or something," and they get like grossed out by it, like, yeah, that's not cool. Like, that's, at that point it's like, okay, you could maybe be like, "Oh no, I see this character as just not being super gender conforming," and that's fine. But like, if they were to be like, "Oh, gross," like, yeah, that's a bad thing. But I think that there's a level of like respect to the creators that is warranted in a lot of those cases. And then this will be the last one I discuss for a bit here. On the "Excuse Me, Sir, Billy Butcher" meme, I don't care for the meme. I don't think that the song really fits anything about his character, as I understand it, or really that the sequence that it's often like put over with the lyrics from the comics, like, or with the panels from the comics and the lyrics on screen. I don't think anything about it when I see it makes sense to me. I didn't like the meme, and I still don't really like the meme much, but I like the song from it. It's weird, and it's not something I'm like, oh, I'd put this on a playlist, but I think that the message behind it, I think, is pretty cool and pretty beautiful in a lot of ways. So like, I don't care for the meme. It's kind of there, but the original song, is kind of like a beautiful deconstruction of like sort of like modern world Christianity, where this guy does all the things you're supposed to do to get into heaven and then ends up going to hell because of it. And the message is meant to be, well, he did all of those things not because he wanted to do those things, and not because that was just the generous person he was, but he did those things because he wanted to go to heaven. So it was always self-serving. He always just wanted to go to heaven. He was doing it out of fear of going to hell and out of personal want for the payback of heaven, the infinite payoff that it would have. But that's not altruistic. And if you look at, not that I'm a Christian myself, but a lot of the things that Jesus preached in the Bible were about being altruistic, caring for people because they're people, not because it will get you to heaven. One of the most common things I see a lot of modern Christians struggle with is the concept of using the Lord's name in vain. They think it's saying, "Oh my God," and that's not. There's nothing vain about that. That's just a colloquialism. Like, that's just a phrase that people use. Using the Lord's name in vain is to invoke the name of God or Jesus in a way that makes you look good, in a way that is vain, that is a vanity thing. So going, "Oh, I'd love to help you with your party, but I've got church." That's a sin. And they don't understand that. They think it's just going like, oh my god. But it's not. It's the sin is using your religion, using your Christianity as a mark of your quality, saying you're a better person for it. Using it as an accessory, wearing a cross so that people know you're Christian. And that means you're a good person. Is not quite using the Lord's name in vain, but it's using symbols of Christianity in vain. So I thought that the message of the song is really beautiful because it's so focused on like, oh, just doing the things the book says you need to do isn't enough, because it also matters why you do them. Sometimes people do things that might seem bad for a good reason. Out of the kindness of their heart, they lie to someone because they don't want to hurt them. And some people will do the most wonderful thing you've ever seen because it's a write-off on their taxes. So there are things like that. That was one thing I used to say, and I've thankfully on my taxes I have never needed to do anything but use the standard deduction, which I'm fine with. But one thing I personally am staunchly against is using charity on your taxes at all. I don't think it should be something that you can get a higher tax return from. I think that giving money to charity should be done because you want to help people. Donating food to a food pantry should be done because you want to help people, not because it makes you look good, not because it saves you money. Like that is just disgusting. That's so gross. I hated, and I still do, when I was in high school, there was so much pushing for me to join the National Honor Society. And I declined. I qualified, and they kept asking me to join it. I said no. And they'd always be like, why? And I'm like, it has a freaking community service, like charity volunteering requirement. That's not community service. That's not, no, I mean, it is community service. It's not charity. You're not acting charitably. You're doing it so that you can go to college with better tuition or with better scholarships. You're doing it so that you can put onto your resume that you were on the National Honor Society, because you can't get that unless you do these nice things. But I'm like, that's not nice. That's not good. You're not being a good person. You're just doing something to benefit yourself that happens to also benefit others. That's basically a job. You're just doing a job. And I don't think a job is charitable unless you are sacrificing something for it. What are you sacrificing? To volunteer, to get your National Honor Society thing? It's like, not really much. Like, what were you going to do? There's plenty of people who are on sports teams and on the National Honor Society. It's not like you're giving up extracurricular fun or giving up your ability to do your homework. You have to be good at all of that to get on in the first place. So it's like, I was always, it rubbed me the wrong way. And then the one that rubbed me the worst way was when I was in college. There was, I can't remember what the name of the group was, but it was the something scholars. I think it was the Bonner program, Bonner scholars, where they would give you a huge, or not huge, but like a decent sized scholarship. And if you had good grades and you were poor and you volunteered a bunch. And I got into a fight with my ex about it at one point because I said, that's horrible. And she was like, what do you mean that's horrible? Like, what? They're doing great things and it's helping these like students who don't have a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, they're giving them this money for hours and hours of their and in the end it comes out to less than minimum wage. I'm like, all they're doing is getting labor out of poor students that makes the Bonner program look good and makes these poor students look good. But they're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it because they can't go to school without it. I'm like, if the Bonner program was actually good, they'd just be giving these students the money. They would have no strings attached. No requirement for them to do volunteering. At all. They would just be like, oh, you need the money? Here's the money. That would be an actual altruistic charity. But what they do instead is they take these students who are from low-income communities and they say, we'll give you the money if you do this like 10-hour-a-day thing over the summer. We'll give you the money if you do like several volunteering things in the community around your school during the school year. They end up having to do so much work on top of their classwork just to afford to go to school. And I'm like, that just feels wrong to me. I'm like, you're giving them a job and you're paying them less than minimum wage. Like, I did the math. One of the things, it was like you got a $10,000 stipend if you did the summer program. And the summer program, based on the hours, I'm like, that was less than minimum wage. Like, it was literally like you were working like 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I'm like, that's not even minimum wage. I was like, that's awful. They're just using these people. And I got so mad about it. I still get mad about it, if you can't tell. Yeah, I always get... rubs me the wrong way when a charity... when charity is used for personal gain. And it rubs me even more the wrong way when you're pushing lower income students to do charity to even be able to afford to go to school. I don't like that. I really don't like that. That makes me so uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, it does result in good things happening. That's the argument everyone always goes. It's like, oh, it makes good things happen. They're still benefiting people. And it's like, yes, they are, but I don't think that they're doing it in all cases because they're a nice person. They're doing it because they need to. And I think that more people should be doing charity because they're a nice person and not because they need to. I don't think anyone should be forced to do charity. I think they should choose to do charity. And I think the moment you force someone to do charity, they're not doing charity. Weird not really a tangent. Weird end point to this discussion of the "Excuse me, sir" Billy Butcher meme, but that's kind of where I'm at on it. Anyways, that's gonna be all for today's stream. So thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact. That was cool with me as long as you had some fun. I don't think we got a single win today. No, we did not. But we gotta play the game, and that's what matters. Yeah. Again, that's gonna be all for today's stream. I will see you in the next one, probably Wednesday. If all goes well. I don't think we have anything planned. But I also don't know if I'm gonna be tired. Who knows? I don't know where things are gonna go. Work could explode, and I could be exhausted. So we'll see. But yes, thank you. I will be back though, and I should hopefully be back next Saturday. I do want to get back into playing Monster Hunter like I was. Before I do, I want to play a little bit on my other save, just so that I can like get back into the rhythm of things, and not come back and be figuring everything out again like I did the last like 2 times I streamed it. Also, the final team artwork for Pokemon Legends ZA is coming along. So don't you worry, that is coming. It's going to be pretty good and pretty cool, as all of them have been. So I'm excited to share that once it's fully done. 4 Dozen Eggs is hard at work on it. So, yeah, that's it. So, I'll see y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by.